and you're with me for a Friday episode of Coffee Talk, number 567. It's about 7 o'clock Central Time, March the 6th, 2026. And it's been a long week, but we're here for Coffee Talk. And actually, I'm not having coffee, I'm having the rest of a Diet Coke. I had a burger and fries, cheeseburger. It is what it is. My comfort foods. Jack Stack. How's it going, Jack? Thank you for coming in. I tell you what, I really like your shorts. Those coins are very interesting. I I've never really been into numismatics. I'm not really into coin collecting. I probably should be, but I'm not. If it was up to me and I had the influence, I'd have you over 1,000 by now. But I know it's going to take some time. It You stick with it and you'll get there. The 4,000 watch hours, if you're trying to get monetized, 4,000 watch hours in a year. That's a lot. It's a lot. Well, they want us to abide by community guidelines. I think I'm probably on their list because I don't meet those. I don't think a lot of times I talk about things they don't want you to talk about. My opinions are not the opinions they want you to have. I'm a dangerous man, and I laugh about that. I laugh about that. Uncael, Enrique Trevino, my friend. He is basically um, he's worried about a blizzard in South Texas. That's his scenario. That's his SHTF scenario. A heavy blizzard in South Texas. Oh, good Lord, I have a good laugh on that one. He made a comment about a blizzard one time. Uh, Susanna Morrison, another wonderful person who's got a really large channel. She's up over 50K. And I think I remembered her when she was like at around 8 or 10. So, I mean, she's really blown up in the last few years. Proud single mom. She used to go by Proud Single Mom. Well, this might be a backup channel that she came in on, but beautiful young lady, beautiful daughter. Very, very good content. I really enjoy it. And she does have a lot to be proud of. She's over in the Philippines, so I'm pretty sure like where now it's like 7 p.m. here in Central Time, and the middle part of the United States, central part of the United States. Where she's at over in the Philippines, it's like 13 hours later, so it's already the next day. It's Saturday morning. I think it's about 8 o'clock in the morning over there. Only if we get a hurricane in Ohio. Yeah, right. A hurricane in Ohio. Hello, Gary. I dedicated a second short to Gary. I said Gary's Chicken Part 2. And I think that got a laugh from a few folks. Nunez Racing. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Rocket is in the house. Hello, Rocket. Now, I will tell you this Rocket is outstanding at solving for, like Wheel of Fortune. He just comes up with, like, you can get like 2 or 3 letters, and then all of a sudden, oh, this is what it is. And it's like, whoa. And you're like amazed. It's just like, I'm like, I didn't see that. And then Gary starts cussing about that he missed it. One of those situations. But really great people. And where Gary and Rocket are, you cannot expect to miss Miss Anne Marie Angel. And I'm sure she's probably lurking around out there. Lots of comments from folks. Everybody's been friendly. And we are 7 minutes into the stream. 4 likes, 5 in the house. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. Um, 5 in the house, 5 likes. I will tell you, I keep getting stuff about opening up memberships and accepting, I guess, what they call super chats, which I don't. I am monetized. A matter of fact, they owe me some money right now. And I have to do something. I have to figure out what I need to do because this will be my first payment from them. I have to do something. Hello, Anne Marie Angel, my friend. Beautiful Anne Marie Angel. And she just started a new puzzle. She does a couple of live streams every day. I don't think I came into her lives today. It's been a day. It's a Friday, and it's been a day. My paraprofessional had to go to a funeral, so she was out today. I was shorthanded. My boss, the principal, had to spot me so I could go pick up my lunch. That's how bad it was. I haven't had any, didn't really have any free time today, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyway, um, Anne Marie, they started a new puzzle today. I think it has to do with butterflies. I saw the box. It's a beautiful puzzle. She does the 1,000 piece puzzles. It takes a couple of weeks to make one of those, 2, 3 weeks sometimes. She gets a little bit of help from her partner Gary, and I enjoy. I used to enjoy, yes, North American butterflies. I used to enjoy going over to my aunt's, my mother's younger sister. We would go over, and they would be making puzzles. They'd have a card table out, and they'd have a puzzle in the living room, and they would be working on a puzzle. And I would go and I'd help a little bit, and I'd watch. And we sit, drink coffee, and talk, you know, making the puzzle. Um, Pre-retirement days, comfort food, and more. Everybody's shortening the name. I could do David Lynn B, as in be prepared, B, David Lynn B. I could shorten it, or I could say David Lynn prepared. I think that sounds better than David Lynn B. How are you doing? The current one is 500 piece. 500. That's still a pretty good sized puzzle. Yes, therapeutic. Rocket invested in oil today. Well, that sounds pretty good. M. High. M. Heineck. M. Hein channel. Welcome. Uncle Al, Die Bullfrog 79. How are you doing? 9 in the house, 10 likes. Just thinking about some of the topics. Just going over some of the topics. 4 cans of WD 40. Yeah, I need to take some WD 40 to work and spray my chair. It is squeaking something awful. I can't move that the bloody thing doesn't squeak. Very aggravating. The noise is very aggravating. Well, I'm showing 12 likes. So I've been super busy, and I don't have a script for this evening. Everybody's been busy. I will start out by saying that I am 23 short of my next giveaway. I need 23 more friends to make my next number to do my next giveaway. How long that will take, I do not know. In talking to people, it seems like everybody is saying, including my friend Dave, who hasn't come in yet unless he's lurking, um, views are way down. Uh, he says new members down, but every time I talk to him, he's picked up an extra 100 or 200 new members. So, I mean, it can't be that far down for him. New members is certainly down for me. I've picked up in the last cycle about 20 new members, which means like in a month, I picked up about 20 new members in the last month. It's like a 28-day cycle if you look at your analytics. And I mean, I really have not been watching as far as that's concerned. I will tell you that my views and my watch hours are way down. They are way down from where they were. And for one thing, I'm not putting out content the way I was. Not putting out the shorts that I was putting out. And I've been lucky getting like one in a 24-hour period, and they haven't been bringing in very many views. So, you know, I have been busy. This is a hobby. This is not a profession, because if I had to eat off of what I make doing this, I would have starved to death. And you start thinking about, well, I make, generalizing, $400 a day, maybe, on my job. Then I'm retired and I get a real good retirement check. And right now, YouTube owes me $106 and some change. And that's the first payment. So, and you think, well, how much did you do to earn that? I've been monetized for well over a year. So, in a period of well over a year, I have, and um, I don't do, I guess, what you call super chats. I don't sell merchandise. I don't sell memberships. I don't do memberships. I don't ask people to send me money. I put my, yeah, very late in the UK. I appreciate y'all being with me for a while. Um, and there are people who do memberships. As soon as they get monetized, they do memberships. They're right. They have the right to do it. If they want to do it, that's fine. They put out that kind of, like, they put out special, they put out special content for their members, stuff that other people aren't necessarily privy to, or they get it way later, for justification. I don't, I don't ask people to send me money. I don't ask people. I ask people to leave me likes, which cost you nothing. I ask people to leave me comments that takes a few seconds to do, or a minute. That's what I ask, you know. And my friends who are consistently with me, they're my members. They're members. You want to say you're a member? Fine, you're a member. And I appreciate it. And I'm a member of their channels. And I appreciate them. The giveaways that I do, and I do giveaways every 100 new subscribers, but then I also send people, and I haven't done it recently. It's been a couple of months probably since I've sent anybody, just to send somebody a box of goodies. And I send out boxes of goodies. A lot of people have got them from me. And usually when I send out a box of goodies, I'll do a video. Um, the same way I do my subscriber videos. Voodoo Kitchen Mama, small channel, hasn't really been putting out much content recently, but she has a little less than 100 members. And she was my first giveaway. I did a 500 subscriber giveaway. and she was my first subscriber winner. And the way people qualify as a winner, 1,720. Well, congratulations, Uncle Al. We're getting up there. Um, the way people qualify for my drawings, and I say this constantly, please leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released when I reach that next number, which my next number would be 2,300 subscribers. And I'm at 2,277 the last I checked. Eventually, I'll get those last 23 subscribers, and then I will do another uh, giveaway. If you want to see what my giveaways usually look like, you can look at one of my prior videos showing, every 100 since I hit 500, every 100, starting with 500 subscribers, I would do a 100 new subscribers giveaway. And at this point, we're talking a little over $100 worth of goodies, and I got to mail the stuff out. So it's a nice gift box. And I usually do a video with it. And then I will also tell you, Belinda's Country Living. Thank you for coming in, Belinda. I appreciate you, young lady. Belinda's got a wonderful channel. She does a lot of cooking and a lot of shorts, and she does some really good content. And she is monetized. And she's got a lot bigger channel than I do. And she deserves it. And I have sent her goodies. I sent her a goodie box here a while back. And then Uncle Al and I are constantly trying to one up each other, sending boxes of stuff to each other. We periodically exchange boxes. And then there's a retaliation from the other person. Like I saw a video the other day that Uncle Al did where he was going through stuff that he's sending me. So he's sending me a retaliatory box, which of course I'll have to respond and retaliate against him. And I'm looking at some of the things he talks about that you need to have, thinking about putting together a nice little box of stuff for him and sending him that. And we talk about 3 items you need to have. But one of the things he talks about he talks about a life straw. He talks life straw. I talk life straws, but I also talk Sawyer's. And I like the bottles. He's talking about the little straws, which are cheaper. But they still do the filtration and everything. And we talk about that. Mr. Whistle, how are you doing, young man? Thank you for coming in. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So, the last video I did a video which was sort of like a little update, and I had a mail call from Amazon. I did that video. It's been about a week. 28 views. Talk about my views being way down. 28 views. And there are some comments. There's probably a dozen people commented on it. But remember, and I say this repeatedly, if you want to be in my next drawing, you want your name in my hat, you need to leave a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 long form videos that I will have released when I hit the number. Now, I may not do another video between now and then, but in a week from now, I'll be off for a little over a week. I'll have like 9 days off for spring break. And when I'm off for spring break, I may wind up doing a video or two. I want to do another ration review. The next one I'm going to do is, Gary will be excited about this. It'll be chicken chunks. That's menu number 5, I believe. It'll be chicken chunks. I want to do that. I probably want to do one of making a fire, using a camp stove and boiling water and making coffee or hot tea or something. But I want to do a couple of new videos. Now, the one that'll be long is if I do the menu number 5, the MRE military meal number 5, U.S. military MRE meals ready to eat. If I do the menu number 5, that one might be upwards of 30 minutes. And I'm sorry, they're long winded. But if I do one where I make coffee or something of that regard, with a camp stove, those are 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then it usually has a little segment of me eating tacos, and drinking coffee. Getting over a virus, well, I'm so sorry. God bless you. The Lord bless and keep you. Mom of 4 boys, Rachel, had contacted me. Her brother passed away. Please be in prayer for her family. Her brother passed away this week, and she is understandably struggling. Jack's got a really good channel. I'm sure he will support you. You support him, and he puts out really good content. It's really fun content too, because I really love the coins. He has a lot of English, UK, a lot of their coins. They have a pretty good variety of coins, different denomination coins and such. Over here, you get these silver dollars, like the old school silver dollars, which probably cost about $50 now per one. I can remember back when I was a kid, my father would buy them for $2, and and it's like Troy silver, an ounce of silver. Those silver dollar coins were about an ounce of silver, and they would go at that time for about $2 for a coin. And now they're probably, 50, 60, $70 for a coin. So I don't know what it is with the algorithm or the AI or whatever you want to call it. Views are way down. They're way down, and seems to be a common occurrence for a number of people. And I can remember, I say back in the days, Well, when I say $107 per coin, when I say $2 for we're talking like 50 years ago, you know, when I was young, when my father was still alive. He's been gone almost 50 years. Um, he would buy, he would go to the bank and he'd get those old silver dollars, and he'd pay $2. He'd get them for $2 at the bank. Hello, Rachel. Again, deepest condolences for your loss, mom of four boys. I was telling everybody in the live stream about your brother's passing. May he rest in peace. I did not know him, but from what I have heard, he was a very honorable, good natured, very loving person, and went way too young. Way too young, which is often the case. We are 31 minutes, 32 minutes into the live stream. And this is a this is sort of an update type live stream. I'm just talking about the state of affairs, the way things are, a little bit about my channel and how things are going. It is funny because there are times when my channel would grow 100 new members in a month. I mean, I've had months where like 3 weeks, and I picked up 100 new members in 3 weeks. Now, Dave, who has not made an appearance, my friend Yoda, his name is David, and I call him Dave. He's from Georgia. Um, Very close to my father's people there, and he puts out really good content. He really is. He's really good at making shorts and putting out content. Um, he knows a lot about cards. He's a big card collector. He's been a big card collector. He's given away a lot. He would do giveaways and such, and he'd give out collectors cards and such. And he's had health problems. He's had issues with his teeth. He's had health problems, and he's been hospitalized multiple times. That's somebody you need to pray for. Uncle Alan Sato, my friend and my preparedness mentor. Very good man, very knowledgeable man, good, really very religious man. Serves in his church on the board and Sunday school teacher. He teaches preparedness, what you need to do. Very, very good man. He takes care of his mother, who's getting close to 100 years old. He um, he has health issues. A lot of folks that we get up to a certain age, and I'm in my 60s. I'm 63. I'll be 64 years old in April, and a lot of folks have health issues. Um, but I don't. There are people who have for years. Mike Crusher reviews. Mike, I need to watch that video this weekend. Mike put out a new video which I need to watch. honest, honest to God, and I just haven't been doing it of recent. There's a lot of folks that I follow their channels and I watch their content, but oftentimes it'll be 2 weeks after they put out a video that I come up and watch it, and then I start reading comments that people made. They have a bunch of comments, a bunch of reviews and everything. Then I go up and I leave my comment, and or my comments. With Mike, he sometimes has to put up with me leaving 3 or 4 different comments, different points in his video, because he'll do a 20-minute video sometimes on his reviews and such, food reviews, ration reviews. And I'll leave a comment about this, and 5 minutes later, hey, I want to talk about that, and I'll leave a comment about that, and I'll leave him 2 or 3 comments, and I usually timestamp at the end to show, hey, I watched the whole thing. Not that many people do that. Uncle Al's real good about timestamping. I try to timestamp, but not a lot of people timestamp, so you have no idea how much of this did they play or did they watch. But just trying to be faithful to my friends. And you don't timestamp shorts. Shorts are a minute or less. A lot of times they're 15 seconds. And you don't timestamp those. But I always try to leave a like. And oftentimes, if nothing else, I'll say like number, whatever like number I am. That way people know that you were there and that you commented. But Susanna Morrison put chicken net around the small place. Ah, just stuff popping up on my screen. 16 likes, 9 in the house. Yep, that happens. I tend to keep mine plugged in. I use my phone to read the comments that people are leaving. Well, I had some topics I wanted to talk about this evening. We're 38 minutes into the live stream. I'm just going to briefly mention that we technically are in a state of war with Iran. We have been bombing the mess out of them, as have the Israelis. When I was a kid, and we're talking 50 years ago, give or take, we used to do what was called make a pile. And the idea is we'd be playing and we'd knock somebody down or somebody'd fall, and you hop on top of them. And then somebody'd hop on top of you. And before you knew it, you had 4 or 5 people, and somebody'd be at the bottom of the pile. And we call it make a pile. And basically, that's right now we're in the process of making a pile on Iran. And some of our allies, Summer Sun, Julie Ann West, another young lady over in the UK who has a good channel, which I would encourage you to reach out to if you have not. Reach out to her. She will reach out to you. And that way you both grow. How are you doing, Julie? Hope you're doing okay. But in the reference to making a pile, when the United States and Israel opened up on Iran, most of our allies were very lukewarm or slightly negative about what we were doing. They did not want to be involved. They did not want to. Matter of fact, some were saying, we don't want you to use our bases to launch your attacks. But the Iranians have been going after all their neighbors. It's sort of like China. China has everybody around them pissed off, except probably the Koreans, and the North Koreans basically exist because of the support of China. But hello, Peter, the Rev 1. Another good man. And speaking of SD Mountain Man, how are you doing, Scott? Scott was my most recent winner. He was the 2200 giveaway. I think the UK is scared to upset its Arab population. Yeah, I was looking at their situation, and the UK has about 7.5 million foreign born um, foreign born people. 7.5 million. We, the United States, has about 50 million foreign born people. But we're also a lot bigger country than the UK. And they have their capital, London, is overrun with Middle Easterners. Their mayor, their mayor is a Muslim from the Middle East. 13 watching and 20 likes. Thank you, Uncle Al. Uh, but we have basically opened up. They talk about opening a can of whoop ass. We basically have opened up a case. Uh, they found out where they were having a big meeting. They were having a big meeting. All the all of the mullahs and the ayatollahs and the strong men and the so-called military types. They were having a big meeting. Yeah, like the New York City mayor, big socialist, Marxist, um, communist, Muslim. Yeah, yeah. That's the Chinese are finding out what will happen if they. And the thing is that they're not only going to have to deal with us; they're going to have to deal with Japan. You know, if they if they do not want the Japanese open in case of whoop ass on them either, but they're prepared to. They got the Japanese pissed. The Japanese are pissed at the Chinese. Well, everybody's pissed at the Chinese. They're very good at offending all their neighbors. They've got everybody around them pissed off. And Iran has been launching. They've been launching drones and missiles against all their neighbors. They've been launching against their Muslim neighbors, the other Islamic Muslim countries around them. They've been launching on everybody, and they've done some damage. They've killed some people. I think the United States has lost 6 soldiers. I think they've had 6 bombs and there's missiles and such. A little bit of it gets through. A little bit they block most of it. They knock most of it down, but a few things get through, like under 10%. And also they're knocking out their means of launching. Their means of launching. So a lot of that. Well, yeah, we got bases there. We got friends. It'd be like if Rocket was over in Gary's neighborhood and said, "Hey, can I use the garage?" And Gary says, "Hey, sure, you can use the garage. I'll let you give you a little space in the garage to store something other." And then somebody gets pissed off at Rocket, and they say, "Hey, well, that's where it's at. Okay, well, let me go spray paint on that garage door, and basically do a big phallic symbol, write Gary's name on it." That wouldn't be nice. Gary would be very upset. Rocket would probably laugh. Anne Marie, I'm sure, would laugh. But I mean, that would not. And the thing is that vandalism, you have to, it would cost to repaint and everything. And the people write graffiti all the time. But it's just, it is what it is. Uh, no, Rocket, I'm not saying that you were the one that did the vandalism. I'm saying, like, I was using it as an example that if you had some space in Gary's garage for something, he loaned you a little space, and then somebody who was pissed off at you decided to go and vandalize Gary's garage because you had some of your stuff in it. And that's basically what's happening over there in the Middle East, is that the Iranians are going after and hitting people because there is a US base in their country. So they're attacking those places. And they're attacking some of the diplomat, like I think they hit one of our consulates. They targeted a consulate. One of their drones or one of their missiles or whatever. It got through and it hit a consulate. And I think it might have hurt some people in the consulate. But I think we've had about 6 casualties. It is a modern crusade. Well, yeah, I could just imagine, Donald Trump on his horse with a make the Middle East Christian again or whatever. You know, I could just imagine him having a hat, something other with the slogan on it about the Crusades or whatever. Yeah, and they call us Crusaders. They refer to Christians in Western countries as Crusaders. And colonists or whatever. They say we're colonists. Because at one point in time we've been all over the world. And we've had bases all over the world, and we've intermarried and interbred and inter whatever all over the world, and just spreading our seed or whatever you want to call it all over the world. And they're upset about that. And then Uncle Al says, "Be careful." He's very worried about you know bad things happening. 49 minutes into the live stream, we're looking at about 20 likes. If we never hear Iran and terrorism, never again, it'll be great for us and them. Yeah, and that's China's losing. Like you look at Maduro, the Chinese spent a lot of money in Venezuela. They're kicking them out on their butt. Uh, the Chinese spent a lot of money down along the Panama Canal, trying to get influence and trying to acquire uh, facilities on either side, either end of the canal. They're getting kicked out of that. They're getting kicked out of Iran. The Russians and the Chinese sent a warship, or they've sent some assets over to the Persian Gulf, day late and a dollar short. There's a video out. Um, the Iranians have two, I guess what we'd call Corvette class. They call them destroyers, but they're like a little over 300 feet. They're like Corvette sized um, warships. One of them had been out in the Indian Ocean, um, participating in some sort of exercise or whatever. One of our attack submarines used a Mark 48 torpedo, blew the shit out of it, and sank it. And they have sunk most of what they would call their major naval assets. Iran pretty much no longer. Now they've got these little patrol boats they use. They've got rocket launchers and 50 caliber machine guns and such mounted on these little patrol boats. And they call them like their version of a Coast Guard or whatever. And they've got 100 or so of those. And we're in the process of trying to hunt those down, but they're a lot smaller and they're a lot more difficult to find. But we're hitting them. We're hitting them hard. We're hitting their anything military we can find. We're hitting. I hear you, Enrique. That is true. And I hear you that they're seeking to free the Iranians. The destroyer was attending a ceremony in India, and one condition of that ceremony was all ammunition had to be removed from the ship. It was totally unarmed. Well, it's totally at the bottom of the Red Sea or the Indian Ocean now. And they were able to rescue a good chunk of the crew. I mean, not everybody, but they rescued a good chunk of the crew. And that is the first since I think the Falklands War. I think that is the first time, which was back in the 80s, when Argentina tried to take the Falklands, they called them the Malvinas Islands down in the South Atlantic. In during the prime ministership of Margaret Thatcher, and she sent the British Navy, and they still had a pretty good sized Navy at that time. Not as big as it is today, but they had a pretty good sized Navy. They sent the Navy down there and kicked their butts. And they actually had troops had to go in and do a landing and had to do a little bit of fighting. The UK did lose a few ships to these. They were using French earlier SOSET missiles. They had some French fighters and French missiles, and they took out a couple of their pretty good sized ships. Anti air defenses were not as good then as they are now. Well, yeah, that's true. Um, that's true, Enrique. A lot of bad things that have happened or that are happening are chickens coming home to roost because of a generational issue. Back during the 60s. There was a big protest movement over Vietnam, over our involvement in Vietnam. A lot of protesters and hippies. And they had a bunch of kids. And then their kids had a bunch of kids. And their kids have had a bunch of kids. And it's like grandkids and great grandkids. You know. So, and you know, and the news media has not helped. They have really been one-sided, and they've been anti-patriotic, in my opinion. A lot of the news media has been very anti-patriotic. They excuse a lot of stuff. They want to rewrite history a lot of times. And the old saying goes is you tell a lie often enough, people start believing it. And that's one of the problems, is that the amount of BS that's being put out. Spain is sending a heavy missile cruiser after Iran sank a Spanish ship. Yeah, they're just trying. They're striking out. They're just trying to do whatever damage they can. They can't do much damage, but they're trying to hit whatever they can hit. It's like a last gasp. They want to be martyrs. They call themselves martyrs. They think they're going to go to their version of heaven uh, by dying for the cause. And KP Heathen, my friend, how are you doing, KP? KP just recently went over 1,000. He's got a very good channel. He puts out some real good shorts, and he puts out some really good posts. He really does put out some good posts. If you are not friends with KP, I would encourage you to befriend him. Good dealing with the new girlfriend. Oh, well, you go with your bad self. KP's the man. A lot of my friends work. They're not able to come in during live streams, but they leave comments, and they talk, leave comments when I do a short or a post, or they'll leave comment on a video. Hillbilly Josh Loftus. He's working on 2,000. He's somewhere around 2,000. Another good young man. He's an oil field worker. Has a son, and he's taking care of his business. Good man. Good channel. I went into his live stream earlier in the week. He once in a while he'll live stream, and I went into his live stream and surprised him. Well, there are people who are sympathetic. You know, there are definitely people on both sides who are sympathetic. A couple of positives, in my opinion. Loudmouth Democratic Socialist Jasmine Crockett. Breaks my heart. She lost her um, runoff primary to be the next sacrifice to run for public office in Texas, which she wouldn't have won. And the man that won isn't going to win. And they'll spend a lot of money, but there hasn't been a Democrat in a statewide office in Texas in over 30 years. So I don't see that happening. But they can wish. Also, Al Green. Yeah, Tony Gonzalez. Al Green, another loudmouth troublemaker who's tried to impeach the president multiple times. You know, he's up there screaming, shaking his cane. They've had to run him out of Congress several times in recent months. Uh, he will not be in Congress after November, after they have the election. The Democrats are probably going to lose several seats here in Texas, more than they normally lose. They've done some redistricting. And Al Green and Jasmine Crockett will be out of office and hopefully very diminished. Knowing MS, you know, or CNN or one of the liberal, they'll probably put them on as consultants, give them salary, put them on pay and give them salaries. Very depressing idea. 21 likes and 10 in the house, 11 in the house. I am a little over an hour into this live stream. I will plan on hopefully being back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Saturday for another edition of Coffee Talk. I appreciate y'all coming in. I'll try to be a little bit more organized on what I want to talk about. But please take the opportunity to leave a like and a supportive comment on each of my last 5 long form videos if you would like to be in the drawing for the next giveaway. And remember the motto of those of us who prepare, the preppers: be prepared. It is a scout and it is a prepper motto: be prepared. And as I always end my live streams with, everybody, please have a blessed day. And hopefully, we'll see you back for another edition of Coffee Talk tomorrow. I really enjoyed this. And low key, appreciate y'all coming in. And we'll see you again when we see you again. God bless and good evening. Bye bye.